Good morning, happy Wednesday. I'm looking at my weekly academic calendar for reading. It says review anchor chart on page 263. So here we are. Informational anchor chart. We know we're learning information. The purpose of informational text is to give us information about a topic. Text structure. These are some things that you could find in the text. Descriptive, that means that it describes something to help you learn information. Compare and contrast. Problem and solution, also known as conflict and resolution. I keep referring back to this nice graphic organizer that we did. Text features. We haven't talked too much about text features, so today and tomorrow I'll be talking about some of these things while we read. Headings are the bolded words at the top of a paragraph telling you the information that you're going to find in that particular spot. Bolded words are thicker words. Photos are really important. Captions, sometimes pictures have captions underneath them. Those are words about the pictures. A glossary is where you find words, just like we use our glossary to define our words. And an index. An index is actually really cool. We're going to talk about it a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow. So if you take a look at our weekly academic calendar, it says take a picture walk. So let's go ahead and do that now. A home on the prairie. I see a snake, a deer, and some sort of little animals here. I'm not too sure what those are just yet. Wow, here's that snake, but a bigger picture of it. Oh, and here's a prairie, grassland with not too many trees. Buffalo, wow. Deer. Look at this little guy here. I wonder what this is. Ooh, look at how pretty. Look at their eyes. I've heard that owls can turn their head almost all the way around to see their predators. Oh, here's those cute little animals again. And ferret. I think this is a ferret. I'm actually, for some reason, Miss Clower is really afraid of ferrets. I don't know why. It's just weird. More snakes. Ooh. I have a feeling that this bird's gonna eat that snake. What's down here? Oh, look, a little mouse eating some berries. And then your new words. Here's our glossary. They actually included it inside our story for us. How awesome is that? So why do you think that the author actually included a glossary in our story for us? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vocabulary words in our glossary. We have American bison, blue stem, burrows, colonies, grazers, habitat, and prairie. We have looked at some of those words whenever we did our vocabulary on Monday, but some of these are actually new. And I actually want to mention, because I was reading with my dear friend Kayla the other day, and she was trying to sound out the words in these parentheses. See this parenthesis right here? It's kind of like a giant comma. This is how you can help sound out this word. So, American bison. So they have these big words that you've probably never heard of before. Whenever there's parentheses, those actually help you sound out the word. So why do we think that the author included this here? We're learning information, so do you think that the author could have possibly put this information here to help us? And then we also have what is called an index. On this page, this is an index. American bison. Oh, and then it has numbers listed right after it. Burrowing owls, page 270, 271. I think the author includes an index so that if we want to learn more about rabbits, we know we can turn to page 274. If we want to learn about eagles, we can turn to page 275. Why do you think the author included this here? Okay, it's also on our weekly academic calendar that we're going to go ahead and start reading. So I'm flipping back to the title page. A Home on the Prairie. This story is by David C. Lyon. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is information. I can't wait to learn some new information. Like we talked about, here's the heading up here. What is this place? Just imagine you're surrounded by tall grass. When you look up, you see nothing but sky. You hear a rattlesnake shake its tail. You watch a prairie dog dive into a hole. Where are we? Down here, here's a picture with a picture caption. Here's something we can read about. A rattlesnake shakes its tail to warn its enemies. So that must be why that prairie dog ran away. Here's another picture caption. Prairies have very few trees, but we already knew that because we did our vocabulary. We're on a North American prairie. Here's a bolded word. That was also our vocabulary word. Maybe that's why it's bolded. A prairie is a type of habitat. A habitat is where a plant or animal usually lives. So how do you think this climate is? Do you think it's cold? Do you think it's hot? Do you think it's really sunny, rainy? What kind of habitat do you think this is to have this kind of animal? A prairie is a large open grassland with almost no trees. Many different kinds of grasses grow on the prairie. I learned one new fact already. There are tall grasses, mixed grasses, and short grass prairies. Blue stem and Indian grass are the tallest grasses on the prairie. Blue stem, this was located in my glossary at the end of our story. I'm going to flip back. One more page, I think. No, it was this page. Blue stem. Remember these parentheses words? Blue stem helps me sound out that word. One of the tallest types of prairie grass. Now I know that bolded word is from our glossary. Blue stem and Indian grass are the tallest grasses on the prairie. American bison roam the prairies. Another name for bison is buffalo. And I'm making a connection. I know at school, Miss Clower actually showed you some of these pictures on her phone because I went to a place that wasn't a prairie, but they also had bison or buffalo. So you actually got to see pictures of ones that I saw in real life. So that's pretty cool. Here's another picture caption right here, and it's just giving us the name, American bison, and it's got an arrow pointing to our bison. Before we start reading, what do we think this animal is? Oh, I actually see two of them. There's one back here kind of hiding in the grass, and then this one. My prediction is that this one is probably the dad taking a peek to make sure it's safe. And this is either the mom or the baby back here, standing behind dad to stay protected. Let's find out. Bison and deer are prairie grazers, which means they feed on prairie grasses. So what do these animals eat? Here's another picture caption right here. Deer graze on grass, leaves, bark, and acorns. So it sounds to me like these animals don't eat meat. They eat grasses and little tiny types of, what would you call an acorn? Kind of like a nut, yeah? Okay, we're gonna stop there today, and tomorrow we're gonna continue reading. But there's a lot of information that we just learned today. See you tomorrow.